I'd like to welcome all of you to class today. Today's an important lesson since I'm introducing to you our first major paper, the observation essay. We're going to be doing in class 3 things, but for you guys at home, you'll be working on 2 things as part of the agenda on this slide. In our learning log, you're going to be learning the skill of summary paragraph writing, which is something we will use all the time in this class, along with helping you use that skill for other classes as well. In class, we're going to be discussing some mentor samples that the students bring, and you can skip over that part. But the main part of the lesson today will be learning what each of you will be doing for your observation essay and looking at some samples of good observation essays. So first of all, in your academic notes, this slide is an important slide. It gives you the characteristics of a well-written summary paragraph. Make sure that you record each of these bullet points in your academic notes and understand how they work by looking at the sample on the next slide. So here is an example of a summary paragraph using what each of those bullet points on the previous point or paragraph or slide. This paragraph comes from a book that I use quite often in English 1010. It's called They Say, I Say. And the basic premise of this book is that people really don't care what we know about a topic until they know that we know the subject. So the first part, they say, is to be able to summarize content, and then the I say is responding to summarize content. So for your exercise, it's going to be divided into 2 parts. Both of these tasks will be recorded and scored. The first task is learning to mark up and understand the components of a summary paragraph. So in each of your resources, I think this assignment is, or handout is in the unstapled papers that I gave you at the first of the year. There is a sample summary paragraph written by a student entitled On Teenagers and Tattoos. What we're doing in the classroom is I'm going to actually put this sample on the DocCam and mark it up, showing the students specifics of a summary paragraph, such as including the author's full name and including the title of the article and where it was published and so forth. So I'd like you to try that. If you feel you would like me to take a picture of the sample that I mark up, I would certainly be glad to send you a picture of the one that I mark up for the students so that you can mark up yours with all of the detail in it as well. I just need you to send me an email so that I can attach that assignment to those of you who want it. So you will submit that to me next time. The second thing that we are going to do during academic notes is actually practice on each student will practice on their own writing a summary paragraph. So in order to do that, you have to have an article to read. So I've included an article that was written by Thomas Friedman, a famous journalist who writes for the New York Times. And this essay was published many years ago, but it was republished a year ago in the Times. And I've included the citation there for you. The 30 Little Turtles deals with outsourcing our jobs here in the United States to third world countries to save labor costs. So would you read it? And then using your knowledge of how to write a summary, type up a summary paragraph that's modeled after slide number 4, sample, and the sample on teenagers and tattoos that I included for you to look at. So both of those assignments, again, will be graded and submitted to class next time. This is the part of the class that you guys can just skip over. What I'm having them do is bring a sample of a writer that they enjoy and then make a list on the board of characteristics of good writing that the students can refer to when they get ready to write their first major paper. So now we're to the part where we're I'm introducing that paper to you. Your first essay for the semester will be an observation essay. I've included a handout in your resources that goes over the particulars of that essay and a lot of samples for you to look at. Before you begin, I want you to assess how observant you are to the world around you. So in class, we're doing a simple exercise of drawing all the details of a front side and back side to a penny. So I'd like you guys to try it. It gives you a good understanding of yourself as how much do you notice of the world around us or don't notice. Once you've done that, here's the cheat sheet. You can look at what the details are and compare how much you actually were able to record on your sample penny. This slide is a good quote to follow when you're thinking about becoming a more observant person. I really like the work of Mary Oliver, and especially this quote. She says, pay attention. We need to do that more if each of you are going to go to a place, and part of the assignment is to pay attention to the details and record the details of the place you visit. Be astonished. Appreciate those details, because the details of what the place you're going to is what's going to make your reader enjoy your recapturing that place for them. So what is the assignment? In your resources, the unstapled resources, I think, there is a copy of the Unit 1 essay handout called Paper Number 1. And there are two major sections on the assignment, and then on another page there is an attached rubric that I will use to grade it. Please stop this presentation and read that handout so you know specifically what your assignment is, what you're expected to do, how long the essay should be, how it will be graded, the important parts that students always want answered. Before you begin writing your essay, you need to, what I'm having each of the students do is look at some professional examples of observation essays. I've included, if I remember, 5 or 6 professional examples in your stapled packet, and I'm going to require you to pick 3 of them and read through those sample essays and complete some preliminary notes of their work on a handout chart, which will also be turned in for credit. So the first one in your resources that I would like you to read is by E.B. White. He wrote an essay entitled Once More to the Lake. As an adult, he returns to a lake he visited as a child and tries to recapture and reflect about what he remembers at that place as a child as to what he sees as an adult now. Beautiful description, excellent observational sample for you to model how to write well an observation essay. The next one that I would love you to read is one of America's greatest essayists, and her name is Annie Dillard. The essay she wrote is entitled Life on the Rocks, about the Galapagos Islands. And I've included some slides for you to help you get a feel for the beauty of the island that she talks about in her essay. And I'll go over those in just a second. And then finally, select from 3 or 4 additional professional samples, one that interests you, and read it as well. Make sure again from the 3 samples that you choose that you've recorded extensive details in the boxes on your reading handout chart, because that is a recorded assignment. So once you've done that, you're going to make a list of 10 possible places that you can visit in the Salt Lake Valley. When you choose the topic, select some place where it allows you to observe people or natural habitat. The first 2 essays, the professional essays, deal with natural habitat. there are a couple more in the samples that deal with people. Remember that you're not describing a scene, but rather you're an active participant. So you are going to be a part of the essay. You're going to write the essay in first person. So before you begin Annie Dillard's essay, I just want to give you some images of the Galapagos Islands. Remember, this is the place that Charles Darwin visited when he came up with the theory of evolution. If you notice, a lot of the animals and creatures on this island, they're just beautiful colors that made Darwin come to his conclusions of evolution. But one of the things that's so amazing about this island, if you ever have a chance to visit it, is that the creatures interact with the humans as though the humans are just another creature on the island. And that's part of the expectations when visitors go to these places. So in the slides that I've included, I've also included some information for you, background of some of the images that are there. So as you look at Annie Dillard's, think of how she became an active participant, again, rather than just describing, for example, the sills on the bench like this slide. Sometimes I have students who ask if they can write an observation essay on a place they have been. While I'm not going to tell you you can't, it makes the assignment much more difficult because you need to go there between now and the next time we have class, which is the 1st of next week. So someplace like a California vacation, while they make great observational essays for habitat, unless you're going there this weekend, it will be much more difficult to record or capture the details unless you have movies that you can go back and watch. So come up with possibilities, and between now and the time of our next class, I want you to go there and read over your assignment sheet that asks you to take a few pictures while you're there, but most of all, extensive details in your notes. Next class period, I am going to give you the majority of the class period to actually write or continue writing your draft. Make sure you pay attention to deadlines for this essay, since it becomes one of the 4 essays that's worth 70% of your grade. If you guys have any questions, send me a quick email and I will get back to you. So I hope the slides and my comments help you out today. So we'll see you until next time. And I hope those of you who have been on quarantine are given the clear to join us back next time. We'll see you all.